Hello YouTube and welcome. This is episode 25 of our Let's Play Kerbal Space Program series. In the top right you'll have a link to the playlist if you want to go back and watch the beginning and watch the progress here. And in this episode we're going to try to launch the Sentinel probe. So the Sentinel probe is we have to unlock scanning tech, and we get this Sentinel infrared telescope, and this can spot the asteroids. I'm not exactly sure how to use this. I did do just a quick look up on the wiki, and from what I can gather it looks like we just have to get outside of the Kerbal sphere of influence and into an orbit around the sun. So that shouldn't be too difficult, I don't think. But I may figure out pretty quick that it is difficult, but we're going to find out. I have not done a test launch with this, so I'm just kind of going in blind with this one. So we'll need to start with a probe body for control of the craft. And then let's get some battery power on here. Like so. And I'm going to put my standard communitron here, but then I'm wondering what else might we need for communication with this. I don't know. So make sure the door closed there. Yeah. I'm not sure how far out we're going to be. Let's take a look at the solar system. See if we can figure this out. So our farthest point would be here, because we're going to put this satellite in orbit between Eve and Kerbal. So if we had something that was capable of communicating with Duna, then it should be able to communicate with our Sentinel. Because the farthest point, if we were here, say Kerbal's here and the Sentinel satellite is here, that would be as farthest distance it could ever get. And so if we were communicating with Duna, and if Kerbal was here and Duna was at its farthest point, that distance is more than this Sentinel distance would be. So with two RA-15s, we have 58% signal strength. I think that's what we'll do. Even with one, we would be fine. Okay, that's what I needed to know. Just want to make sure we're going to build something that can communicate with us. So I imagine there will be a blind spot when it's on the opposite side of the sun, but for the most part we should be good here. Okay, so we're only interested in the Sentinel. I think this thing's pretty big. It's not terribly big. So we can put that there. And I don't know how much power this uses. Let's see. So we can get any info here at all. Yeah, I don't get any power consumption data here at all. I wonder if the wiki will tell me something. Well, it says none. How can it operate with no electricity? I guess it's just pure optics. Okay, that's easy enough, so all we have to worry about is powering the satellite here. So a couple of these deployable, let's see, the 1x6, if we put two of those on there, that should be more than enough. just looking, we've got to have somewhere to mount our 2 antennas. It's these here. I don't think it will let me mount them here. Don't know if I can mount it on the camera like that. Will that be acceptable? I think we're going to go with that. We'll just have to put it up there and see. Now I want to be able to manipulate this in space, so I think we'll give this a fuel tank with a Terrier engine, not the Spark. There we go. Okay, so that's going to have, wow, 3,395 delta V. So we should be able to put this in orbit, and all we need is about 1,000 delta V to break out of Kerbin's sphere of influence. But now to get into orbit around Kerbal, according to my map, says I need 13,000 delta V to get in an orbit around Kerbal. So, what would that look like? It's 4554. This may be harder than I thought it was going to be. 55. So I wonder if we can use something else like the cheetah. Let's see. That's only 4581. Wonder if we need one of those atomic engines for this. That only gives me 5,000, 5,400 in a vacuum. Let's see, does this need to be in located? Able to look at asteroids. Must be in a solar orbit, orbiting the sun outside the sphere of influence of any other body. So it doesn't say it needs to be in a circular orbit. To get into an elliptical orbit, we only need about 6,000 delta V. So the eccentricity needs to be close to matching the target planet. Now that circular orbit around the 13,700, that's for a low, that's getting us within 610 kilometers of the sun. That's a low orbit. I don't think we need a low orbit. So I'm going to shoot for 6,000 delta V. $6,000 delta V will maybe be enough to get us into a elliptical orbit. This is already getting pretty heavy. So maybe we should try. Let us save this. And I want to go back and let's get that atomic engine. We have plenty of science. Because you have this 800, this ISP level of 800 in a vacuum. That's very efficient, and it only needs liquid fuel. It doesn't need the the other oxidizer. Or yeah, doesn't need the oxidizer, so you take the oxidizer out. That'll help with the weight some. And then let's see, where is this fancy engine at? Now they're expensive. I'm already at almost 21,000. If I add this, that's only 10,000 more. That gives me 4,058 delta V. So if we were to add another small tank, maybe. There we go. Well, I was shooting for 6,000, I believe. I don't know how much weight the oxidizers save us. That's pretty close right there. And actually, well, let's see, how heavy is this? 13 tons. That's better than what we had. Let's go with that. Let's put a decoupler. And then a fairing to cover all this. Okay, so it should be good on this upper stage. So now we just need to get this into orbit. So for that, so I'm looking at, I have about 16 tons that I need to lift. I have this 15.3. Yeah, that seems to be enough. That's 38. Oh, but I'm forgetting. I need to do more than just get into orbit. I've got to also get out of Kerbin's sphere of influence. So this needs to be more. We're going to have another 1,000 delta V, so I need this upper stage to be about 7,000. Wow, you really get a lot of weight with the oxidizer. That got us to 7,000 there. weight probably went up a good bit. We're at 20.6 tons now. Probably gonna have to build a new booster. This one was only 129. This one will be close. We have some decent. I wonder. I'm concerned about that upper stage thrust. So we would be good on our liftoff. Thrust weight ratio is 1.33. Then we drop those. Okay, that helps dropping these. Okay, that gets up to almost 1.9 there. So the question is, how efficient can I be with the liftoff? I usually have 200 or 300 delta V left. So I usually start with 3,800. And I usually have a couple hundred left over. Now this is going to give me 2746 plus the 1764. Oh, that gives me 4,500. This has quite a bit actually. So I think this will do the trick, and we'll maybe can use leftover fuel to get our encounter, or get our leave Kerbin's sphere of influence. And then we should have plenty left in the upper stage there, 7,000, to do our orbit around the sun. So I'm going to add a little bit of bracing to this right quick before we lift off. Let's go here and do the same thing at the bottom, just to keep things from bending and flexing when we take off. Okay, that's that, and then some of these here to hold us in place. Alright, so go through the staging here. Why did this? So our boosters will go first, along with our supports. Then when the boosters are finished, we'll separate the boosters. Our main engine will kick on. That will run until we get up. Hopefully we can leave this Kerbin sphere of influence with this stage, and then we'll have enough here to get our orbit. And should have about 1,000 delta V remaining with this. So let's give it a go and see if it works. Alright, I'm going to launch this monster into space, and I'll cut ahead and see you in orbit. Okay, I think I'm going to try this. Instead of getting an orbit, I'm just going to go ahead and burn. You can spin 2240 delta V and try to go ahead and get this orbit here. Then when we get to our periapsis, I can pull it back in and circularize. So I'm going to try this and see how it goes. We are going to go ahead and deploy our fairing first. And go. I don't know if I can extend these while I'm flying or not. Yeah, that seems to be working. I don't know how wise this is. It may cause the mission to fail, but it seems like there's no point in orbiting Kerbal if we're trying to orbit the sun. So might as well just burn. And we're going to stop there. Maybe went a little too far. Well, let's try to swing this around. And push this back out just a little bit. And then we'll just time warp around to the periapsis, and we should be able to do a retrograde burn here to pull this in and get us circularized. And then at that point, if I need to make a inclination adjustment, I will do that. Alright, let's see. I'm just kind of eyeballing this. I don't really have a particular. Let's go for 11,000 or 11 million. Let's go for that there. 11 million. It's actually 11 billion. Yeah, 11 billion meters. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this section here. May have not even needed this, all this. Probably could put just a little spark engine on here with a small fuel tank or something to adjust. Because at this point, I think all we have to do is adjust the apoapsis down and probably be good to go. Well, this should be good. Let's go ahead and separate here. Let's get away from that debris there a little bit. Okay, let us warp to our periapsis. I'm actually going to add a maneuver here and see what it will take. So we want to pull this down to about 11 million. It's going to take 500 delta V. So we're a little overkill here. But hey, that's alright. That is alright. So it is 229 days away. It's because we've got to do a full, well, almost a half orbit here to get to our periapsis. So I will shoot over there, and I will see you when we get there. Alright, here we are. We're almost at our periapsis. I don't think communications is going to be a problem at all here. actually going to adjust this because I just noticed my periapsis is off on my alignment here. Let's get it a little closer so we don't really affect our periapsis much. Alright, that should be good. So I'm just going to go ahead and start, well, let's just get to the mark. Get to see this atomic engine burn here at full throttle. And mark. That's an interesting engine. It's going to take a couple of minutes, so I will get this burn complete and join you on the other side. Alright, here we are. I'm dialing it in. I'm going to try to get it to 10.98 if I can. .99. .9899. That's exactly circular. 10.9899 by 10.989, well, 96. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So now it's a perfect circular orbit around the sun. And let's see if this thing works. Now I don't know what to do here. I guess start object tracking is now mapping asteroids and comets passing near Kerbal. Okay, so I guess it's working. I do want to adjust my antennas here, or my panels. Let's get them pointing in line with the star there. Now this thing should always have power, and it will be tracking objects for us. Now I don't know when, how long it takes, if we'll get some notification. I don't have a clue how this works, but it's supposed to show up in the tracking station, I believe, after an object is found. So we'll just have to let this run for a while, I guess, and see what it can find. Let's just hop into the tracking station right quick. See if it shows anything. Oh, that's where we were. So if I turn off everything, so these are the objects, and I guess eventually these will start showing up in our tracked objects, and once we have it there, we should be able to send a probe to it, or even try to go in, land on one with a lander or something and see see if we can plant us a flag. But anyway, that may take a while for those to be discovered. So I wanted to go ahead and get it out, get it into orbit early on, so that while we're doing other things, it can be finding those objects for us. So that's that. We can check that item off the list. I will mark this spreadsheet, year 7, day 86. I'll get that updated. And that'll do it for this episode. So thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, you want to follow my progress, there should be a window over here on your top right that you can go. It'll take you to the playlist. You can start at the beginning if you like and follow along. Also, to your top left, there's a subscribe button. If you're interested in my content, just give me a like and a subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.